Welcome to the May open board meeting. If you would please be kind enough to stand up while we face the flag.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming and bright stars through the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Dave. I'd like to introduce Dave Ambrose. He joined Sun Lakes Country Club on the last happy hour and performed for us. Did a wonderful job, really brought the crowd together, and he will continue to be playing here during happy hour. So thank you, Dave, for the national anthem. I guess I'd like to begin with a couple of announcements here, discussions. I think you noticed at the last open board meeting we changed the format, and you'll see tonight that we are continuing to change the format and trying to make it more enjoyable, interesting, and participatory. The board met with the District Delegate Assembly previously to this meeting, as well as met with all of the committees, chairs. And we're glad to see residents at this meeting. As you saw last month, we are committed to open communication and sharing items that have been discussed in executive session. Please understand the following. These meetings are intended to be an effective way of keeping residents informed and is being presented on Channel 97 as well as Good Day Sun Lakes following the meeting today. Food and beverage information and opportunities to provide feedback directly to CCL is available. Residents have the Happy or Not kiosks in the Sandwich and the lounge. There are QR cards on the receipts that take you straight to Happy or Not, as well as the restaurant page of the Sun Lakes website. We also advertise and provide information on Channel 97, Good Day Sun Lakes, and email blasts. So please take a look at what's available for information and participate as best you can. As we've seen, some residents enjoy sharing opinions on Facebook, which is everybody's right. But unfortunately, frequently shared content incorrect or incomplete facts and opinions. The board encourages residents to obtain information from trusted and reliable sources before making decisions. Jason, would you please read the executive actions for the month?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. This report will give the community an update on actions that were taken by the board at their executive session meetings that were held on May 1st, May 8th, May 14th, May 19th, May 21st, and May 28th, at which time litigation, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personnel matters were discussed. With member matters, the board reviewed the F&B and golf receivables as of April 30th, 2025, as well as the assessment account receivables as of April 30th, 2025. The board reviewed 3 member requests for golf refund. The board approved the delinquency report. The board reviewed 2 requests for a fee waiver. The board reviewed 2 member requests for a payment plan. The board reviewed multiple letters from members. The board reviewed the procurement committee's handbook. With legal, the board reviewed and approved the executive session minutes from April 29th. The board received several updates from legal. The board met with the chair of the FAC to discuss financials. The board met with a member to discuss Firewise. The board approved the write-off of bad debt that has been deemed uncollectible in the amount of $49,287.70. The board reviewed a draft rule change to be presented in open session for a 30-day reading. The board approved to send the following accounts to the collections attorney to foreclose on the lien and record the notice of default on the following: APN 440-102-045 and APN 440-130-005. The board approved to send the following to the collections attorney to begin the foreclosure process, and that is APN 440-088-001. The board also approved of the continuation with the foreclosure sale on 2 properties. And the board approved a settlement request on a property. With formation of contracts, the board received updates from the management company on several items and discussed progress on a number of projects. The board met with FSR leadership. The board met with CCL. The board met and discussed insurance. The board received and filed the project activity report as well as the investment activity report. The board also reviewed and discussed the governance policy. The board reviewed and approved the April-May narrative and analytic report from Securitas, which will be put on the website, and the board is also working with Securitas on a major incident report to present to the community. The board met with representatives from Securitas, and finally, the board received updates on cost-cutting and revenue-generating ideas from the Gulf Ad Hoc Group, as well as updates from 2 directors. And that completes the report.
Thank you, Jason. Before we get on to the consent agenda, there's one other item that we'd like to bring up and clarify. The board would like to correct and clarify any misunderstandings regarding karaoke in the main clubhouse. Karaoke is an entertainment that is being offered by a resident of Sun Lakes and has been held for some time in the South Clubhouse. A few months ago, it became offered on Thursday evenings in the lounge, which is also the evening where food and beverage is offering fine dining in the restaurant. Aside from the acoustic issues in the lounge, which is being addressed, karaoke has become excessively loud and has impacted resident participation for dinner in our dining room. Requests by the board and management to lower the volume have been ignored, and last Thursday, it was so loud that management requested to discontinue karaoke. Food and beverage management is responsible for entertainment, as scheduling and sales impact due to band selection is important to our success. One board member does not have the authority to cancel entertainment without a vote of the board. The decision to discontinue karaoke in the clubhouse was made for 2 reasons. In that the clubhouse now offers food and beverage services 7 days a week, karaoke is not the best entertainment for most of the residents' desires. As a result of learning more about the terms of our existing and future liquor license, we are not permitted to offer sale of alcohol during karaoke events as was being done. It is our understanding that karaoke is continuing back in the South Clubhouse beginning this week, and we're happy that you have an opportunity to continue to enjoy karaoke. But those are the facts of how karaoke was removed from the main clubhouse. Thank you. I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Does any board member have any items they would like to add or remove? No. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Bob. All in favor? Aye. 5-0. Okay.
If I could, Mr. President,
Please.
read the items that were on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I hope head none will fix that. Okay. Okay, first you had the approval of the open session meeting minutes of 4/23/2025, the 4/10 election meeting, and the 4/10 organizational meeting. You also have the lien resolution on the following accounts: 0980-02, 1375-02, 1546-01, 1619-01, 1635-02, 2285-02, 2457-02, 2981-03, 3129-01, 3265-01. Those are the items on the lien resolution. And finally, we have a receive and file for the 2025, April 2025 financial statement packet. That is what your board had just approved. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying all the items for me. At this point, we have two appointments for the Finance Advisory Committee. The board has interviewed both these candidates and has overwhelmingly approved their position to join the Finance Committee. The first is Kathleen O'Hara. Is Kathleen here tonight by any chance? Would you please stand up? Thank you. And also Catherine Phillips. Thank you for joining. We look forward to your help and assistance. And at this point, I'd like to...
I make a motion that we approve Catherine Phillips and Kathleen O'Hare.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Bob.
Mr. President, just a point of clarification, if we can go back to the report section, there are several pending matters for reports, including CCLs, the treasurer update, and some updates that I have.
Chris, I believe we have an activity going on right now.
Yes, that's what, so under the general manager report, there are a couple of things that we'd like to do. There's a board full activity for recognition, and then I'll hand that to them, and then we have two other items right after that.
First of all, we'd like Randy Robbins, if he is close. Randy, I can't express the real pleasure that we have in having you back on board. You've had a hard road here. You've really given your commitment to this community for many, many years, and the board appreciates it, and we would like to give you this recognition award. So good to see you, Randy.
Now, I would like to mention that, as everyone knows or should know, that Randy has been recovering and has done an awesome job for our community. And not only was he the vice president and a leader on our board for 4 years, he was also the president of the Pass Action Group and was very, very instrumental in fighting and successfully preventing the warehouses from coming across the street. So thank Randy for everything he's done.
I just wanted to say, well, first off, thank you to the board for this recognition. But I also want to say both the board and the Pass Action Group, they were team efforts. Yes, I might have been leading certain aspects of stuff, but it was a team effort. We would have never done it without the full team. And I had hoped to finish my term, but when my liver, I got put on the list for a new liver, and I was #1 in the entire Southwest United States, I figured I better take it while I can. So, all right. Thank you very much.
We would like to also thank another awesome member of our community who has been very instrumental and volunteered for many committees and programs and on the board for 4 years, and now is heading up our Charity Week coming up, next week. So let's give a big round of applause to Beverly Simmons. Speech. Of course, she never
No
liked to talk.
speeches, I'm just going to say thank you, and charity tickets are on sale right this moment until 6 o'clock tonight, so please come to Charity Week. Thank you so much.
Perfect, and now we will have the presentation of Employee of the Month. Javier, I think, and Michelle, but Javier, you got to find where oh, okay, you're up. Ah, she was hiding I see.
I was like,
Okay.
where is she? There she is. There's our gal. Okay, our employee of the month for April is Gina Denhollander from Food and Beverage. Gina started with Sun Lakes Country Club in January of 2018. Since that day, she has dedicated herself to serve the residents and their guests, always with a friendly smile and welcome personality. Gina is always willing to assist in any location of our operations, whether it's a sand wedge, lounge, or banquet. Her professionalism is always noticed by residents alike. We are proud to give Gina Employee of the Month and a Visa card for her outstanding job performance.
And then we'll just get down on those.
And finally, we're going to give an update from Securitas. That's going to be Mike Romero.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. The presentation offers a current safety snapshot of our community. Our focus remains on maintaining a proactive security presence and responding swiftly to incidents while working behind the scenes to deter threats before they materialize. So I'm going to give you a quick reporting snapshot. We've implemented a new structured month-by-month reporting model designed for Sun Lakes. For example, for the month of January 15, 2024 through February 15th, all major security incidents have been reviewed and categorized as follows. Each reporting period will span on a month-to-month basis, for example, January 15th through February 15th, February 15th through March 15th, and so on and so on. This allows us to identify trends and make strategic decisions based on actual real-time data. Our reports will focus on the following primary incidents and begin with the month of January through February. The following significant incidents were recorded for this time. Confrontations. We had 3 confrontations, although limited in number. These incidents do require rapid professional handling to ensure peaceful resolutions. Trespassing. We had 1 incident. It's pretty low in frequency, but it allows monitored for repeat patterns. So we're going to keep diligently keeping an eye on those patterns as they come across. Suspicious activity, we had 7. This remains our highest category and indicates that our team and residents are on alert and responsive. These reports are often precursors to preventing crime or escalations. Police calls are also things that we're documenting and reporting on. We had 2. These were incidents where external law enforcement was deemed necessary to back up my team when they're out on the field. Unsecured doors and gates, we did report a few on those. We did 10 for the month of January through February. This includes perimeter gates, which are found unlocked, and facility doors left open during after hours. This is a persistent concern that we are continuing to monitor very, very closely. Inoperable or damaged gates, we did have 5 reports combined. This could be due to infrastructure issues that may compromise perimeter integrity, and that we are working hand in hand with the board as well with the management team to make sure that these issues are resolved immediately. Fire and safety hazards, we have 3 reported incidents. These range from improperly stored materials to potential ignition sources, which were all promptly resolved. Our reports will include the time of incident analysis. The majority of our security events continue to occur during the day shift hours of 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and graveyard hours from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Specifically, we're focused on suspicious activity. These are equally spread across all shifts, including 4 out of the 7 in January during overnight hours, suggesting that increased after-dark surveillance is valued here. Unsecured doors mostly identified during evening and overnight patrols, emphasizing the importance of or after-hour diligence when patrol is conducting nightly closures. This pattern affirms that our patrol scheduling is correctly aligned with incident activity. What is it that we're doing right? We're maintaining high visibility patrols throughout all shifts. We're providing real-time communication and officer updates via the Vision system. Focused response to every resident reported concern. We're collaborative relationships with residents to enhance early detection and real-time data-informed deployment strategies to targeting risk windows. Our continuous improvements. Gate and access checkpoints are being upgraded along with entry and exit data gathered from Dwelling Live to closely monitor vehicles entering and exiting Sun Lakes. Shift-specific accountability for perimeter sweeps. We are also doing increased overnight visibility to counter late-hour vulnerabilities, such as patrol roving the community with our automated bar lights on. And finally, community education efforts around access control and safety habits. Sun Lakes continues to demonstrate strong security outcomes through coordinated patrols, responsive action, and resident cooperation. The data confirms our proactive approach is reducing risk and enhancing awareness. We are not without vulnerabilities, but we are addressing them head-on with clear strategy, daily diligence, and community partnership. Thank you for your ongoing support and your trust, and we will continue to do our efforts for the community.
Thank you for the, thank you for the report, Mike. I think it's important to note that the way that the report has been formatted, the whole top portion of the report that he's reporting on is major incidences that all residents would be most interested in knowing about. And you'll be able to see those on the website. That report will be posted. And it basically tells you the various issues on the 3 shifts, how many issues we had in different categories, as well as locations for the week, as well as incidents by time, by day of the week. So that's a pretty important part of this, and you'll be receiving this report every month from now on. And Mike will be reporting monthly at the open meeting if you have any questions. So thank you. Chris, would you like to cover the Executive General Manager report?
Actually, that completes it. Those 3 items will complete my report.
Very good. Sub-associations, do we have any report from the subs? Not this week. Delegate Assembly, Cal?
No, not yet. It's still pending.
Good afternoon. My name is Cal Martin, and I am the current chair of the Delegate Assembly. This is going to be a little extemporaneous, so bear with me, please. The thing that I want to talk about is that we have an issue in the community. It's not just the Delegate Assembly. The issue really is one of patience, I think. One of the things that most people seem to fail to grasp is the most single important ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with other people. I'm going to say that again. The most important ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with other people. We have a brand new board. They've been here and seated for about a month. And yet I was called to Facebook to read comments from residents, which I don't do social media. I didn't grow up with social media. I think it's probably the worst thing that ever happened to America or the world. There's nothing social about it. It's basically people throwing barbs from a distance behind a blind wall. And Sun Lakes has a number of people that have no restraint on a board that wants to do a number of initiatives and can't even give them time to figure things out. That's patience, folks. It's everything that changes all the time. And when it changes, hopefully the board is doing exactly why they were elected. They have the good of the heart of the community is their best interest. And if we cannot restrain ourselves from, creating the confusion, the dissension, the mistrust that abounds from things that are easily solvable, most of these, as Don said in his opening statement, are simply because people are ill-informed and don't really understand the complexities of some of the situations. That's really bad. It's really bad to start throwing words around. Whoever said sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me has got it wrong. Words are powerful. Words are powerful, and they can be divisive, or they can be something that is the greatest blessing that someone can give to another. And we would all be well advised to start getting blessings and take away the barbs, no matter what we do. Here at Sun Lakes or any aspect of life, those things are true. Everybody here is old enough to have seen the first episode of Saturday Night Live, and they had some great characters through the years. And you probably remember, if you ever watched it, Emily Matella, the lady who went on a rant during the news for about 5 minutes on a subject, and finally she was actually informed on what it was she was talking about, and her response was, "Never mind." Well, never mind isn't sometimes enough when you've actually degraded someone and degraded their efforts. I am out of time, so I won't do any more Debbie Downer, another Saturday night character for you. But if you could, patience.
Thank you, Cal. Next up would be the City of Banning update, if Sherry is here.
You're a very tall man. Hi, my name's Sherry Flynn. I'm your City of Banning mayor, and congratulations to the new council members, and welcome to everyone here. I have a lot to say. I didn't miss last month because the whole council was up in Sacramento at the League of California Cities for the City Leaders Summit. Last night we had our meeting, and I wanted to say that we did not get, as far as homelessness, I know that's on everyone's mind, we did not get the third grant round for homelessness. So we do not have money to continue with Opportunity Village. We're going to go a different direction now. We have a group that we agreed to hire last night, $48,000 a month for a one-year contract. They're called SWAG, Social Work Action Network, and they have a different approach. They go out and they go out in twos, and they go out to the community, they go out to the camps, and they work with people on a one-on-one basis to get them into mental health and drug facilities, and they use county and state resources and city resources to do that, and they've been very successful in other cities. And so, you don't keep doing what doesn't work, you try something new, and that's what we're going to be doing. We've also had a lot of cleanups. I hope you've noticed that. We got Caltrans, the railroad, to clean up all along the I-10. The new city manager is very invested in cleaning up encampments. We cleaned up a very large one downtown. We're continuing to do that. We're going to be looking at hiring a company, an outside company, to do cleanups, removals, graffiti, all of that for, I think it's going to be about $150,000, but I think that it's well worth spending that. Also, we spend about $700,000 a year out of the general funds, not the grant money, to pay for 4.5 people to operate Opportunity Village. So we're taking that money and we're putting it towards this SWAG group. And also, to bring up to date with the animal shelter, I'm in an ad hoc committee with Councilmember Cindy Barrington with the City of Beaumont. We have met twice. The last meeting we met out at the Banning shelter. We reviewed it. We're going to get updates on how much it's going to cost to renovate that. We are also bringing in Calamasa and Morongo. This would be probably a holding area until we can get a permanent facility or expand that facility. But now we have different groups to help us to do that. And also trying to get the county to possibly help run it, because they are looking for more facilities, because they have outlived all of their other ones. So if we can provide the land and get it up and going, then maybe they can run it. The Banning Point lawsuit is still ongoing. That is to be, it was put in for a dismissal. It should be dismissed. It missed the date for filing the lawsuit by 2 days. It's in federal court. If you miss it by even 1 day, it is thrown out. I believe that's going on this week or next week. It's not going to actually be a hearing now. It's going to be the judges is going to review it, and hopefully it will be thrown out. It's a hard, fast rule on that. Also, Sunset Crossroads, or the North Point development, which is east of Highland Home Road, 10 warehouses, 5.5 million square feet between Sunset and Highland Home Road. That is, we did have a presentation by them finally, which was very informative. They did come back and gave a lot of different concessions. They now are going to put $12 million towards a fire station. They're going to donate the fire station land instead of making us pay for it. They're going to donate all the other land that for all the other things the city needs. They were going to make the city pay for that at fair market value. Now they're going to donate that, or they're offering this. They're also taking away 2 warehouses. They're rearranging another one. They are going to add 15 more acres of commercial. And they're going from 10 cents a square foot to 20 cents a square foot for city services. That was something I was like, 10 cents a square foot, really? That doesn't really cover it, so they're offering 20 now. But it still is, 8 warehouses. Also, we're looking at the airport property, the Hillwood lease. We are in negotiations for the lease and terms. That is quite a controversial item on there, and we had that in closed session last night. We also now have a fire hydrant maintenance program, and they're starting with Sun Lakes. They will go through every single fire hydrant, make sure it works, make sure all the parts are working every 2 years, and they started with Sun Lakes. And that was something that I wanted to put in there after the fire at the Palisades, because we have just as much wind as they do, if not more. We also hired and trained a new code enforcement officer. We're giving a lot of citations, a lot more. We're clearing out homes that don't have permits, making them have permits, code enforcement, clearing out homes that are decrepit, things like that. We also are having a food truck festival, which is going to be June 1st, which is this Sunday, from 5 to 10 p.m. It's at 150 Ramsey. It's across the street from City Hall in that empty lot there, bordering the 10 freeway. It's going to be family fun. There's going to be up to 35 trucks, and there's no alcohol. And everyone should come out. It's going to be for 8 weeks, so every Sunday. We're also approved last night the Banning Commerce Center, which is a 1,320,000 square foot warehouse, industrial warehouse, which is off of the Ramsey exit at the I-10 and the Hathaway. We approved that 5-0 last night. And then on June 5th at 5 p.m., Hillwood, who is doing the warehouse over at the airport property, will present their project. And something that didn't happen in the past was we would just get these projects in one night, and we had just seen them that night, and the council would have to approve it in the past. And I said, no, we're gonna have them come, they're gonna present to the planning commission. We did a combo planning commission city council meeting for North Point, and we're gonna do that for Hillwood now, and we're gonna do that for every developer. And if it takes 1, 2, 3 times until the city council and the planning commission and the citizens understand these projects, we'll do whatever it takes, because we're no more cramming these things down everyone's throat and people not knowing what they are. And we also have 2 openings on the planning commission, and if anyone has any background in planning at all that would be interested, we really need people on the planning commission. That's a very crucial, they get to decide things, and a lot of them never come to the city council. And they're deciding these warehouses and these stores and what comes in. And we really need people on there who know what they're doing. You don't have to be highly, specialized, but have some background in planning, architecture, anything like that. We have 2 openings. I don't know when that will happen. I think it probably did close, but we can open it up again for applications. So let me know if there's anyone that's interested in that. And then our next meeting is on June 10th at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Sherry. We appreciate everything you're doing for us. So, Treasurer's report, Gary.
We've got it. Yeah, I'm good. It's on. It's on. Is it working? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. My name is Gary Burkle. I'm your Sun Lakes treasurer, and I'm doing the treasurer's report on the April financial statements. So the first page of the report is just a summary, kind of an overview of our operating account. Our operating account is where all the business activity of the association occurs, so it's not the restricted funds, the reserve and replacement fund, or the capital fund. But in the operating fund, for the month of April, we had a loss of $63,790. Most of that had to do with somewhat lower performance in golf, but golf year-to-date is still ahead of budget, and some continuing losses in food and beverage. Just remember, food and beverages has a new management company that is just getting started. So anyway, year-to-date, we still have a surplus of $439,365. So actually, year-to-date, we're doing very well. We're ahead year-to-date compared to 2022 and 2023, so we're actually doing fairly well year-to-date. Our cash and outstanding bill position is still not good. Our cash in the operating account at the end of April was $871,419. And the outstanding bills were $1,507,000. Obviously, we're looking forward to the incentive payment that we're expecting from Spectrum. We signed the contract at the end of March, and that payment is due yesterday. Well, at least I would hope it got here yesterday, but we're still waiting to receive that. So our unpaid bills exceed cash and receivables by $158,000. So we're a little upside down, but when you take into account the things we have available to pay bills, which includes cash and receivables, and there's some money that's due between funds. So when you take all that into account, we're still a little upside down by $158,000. At the end of April, our position, sort of relative to how much we owe First Service, improved a lot, and that probably had an impact on our cash position. So at the end of April, we owed First Service $509,273. The next page is the more details on the operating fund profit and loss, so to speak. This is our income statement. And you can see, as I said, the loss for the month was $63,790. And that's actually somewhat, a little bit different. That's actually reported in our financial statements because there was some delays in getting information on food and beverage for April. They were just getting started. We're working with them on speeding up their reporting, but we didn't have all the numbers for food and beverage when the financial statements were being wrapped up. But anyway, you can see there for April, we had a loss of $63,790. The bottom two lines are the performance of golf and food and beverage, so you can see that. If you look over on the right column, you know, the areas, that column shows the variance from budget year to date. And when it comes to utilities, the biggest negative in there is that our Spectrum contract didn't get signed and put in place as early as we expected. We had hoped it would have been in place at the beginning of the year, and it was budgeted for a lower rate at the beginning of the year. So the Spectrum contract is the biggest cause for that negative in utilities. That should improve as we get the new, because the new contract is in place. The other departments, for the most part, are positive. And most of that is caused by, savings in labor cost. A number of the departments have had less labor cost than expected. For example, recreation has not had a director in recreation, and it appears we may not need to have a new director, as a person who's working in recreation is kind of coming up to that level. But anyway, the labor cost has been lower than we expected for the year. As I said, when you look at the last 3 years, we're actually ahead of where we were at the end of April, in 2023 or 2024. And the next page, or the next slide, is just what I said about we're still a little bit upside down when it comes to the column in the blue is our cash and receivables, and the column in red is our outstanding bills, and the end of April, the outstanding bills exceeded cash and receivables by $158,000. The next page, or next slide, whoops. This slide is a summary of food and beverage for the month of April. And food and beverage only started operating on the 7th of April, so it's just 3 weeks of operation. And there's probably too many numbers on the page here, but our contract with CCL contains a forecast or budget for 2025. And that budget for April had, as you can see in the column on the left here, $150,000 of revenue. They actually achieved $163,000 of revenue. So they did much better than expected, especially when you consider they only operated for 3 weeks. So the column on the right shows that they were $13,617 over budget. But the other areas, food cost or alcohol and food cost, which I have here as product cost, was higher than expected, and particularly labor was higher expected. But obviously they were in a startup mode, and there was a lot of training cost, a lot of getting servers and other people in the kitchen up to speed. So that was kind of expected, and obviously it's an area we're working on. So that's food and beverage. This page is repair and replacement fund, as you can see there. And actually had a resident ask recently where all our dues go. And as I've shown on another page, part of your dues goes to the general operations of the operating fund, but the rest of the dues, and in this, as it's shown here, $194,150 goes in to the repair and replacement fund every month, And so far this year, we've put $776,600. In the month of April, we received $36,840. That's the reserve and replenishment assessment that people pay when they buy a house in Sun Lakes. Then there was investment income and the expenditures out of the operating fund. At the end of April, we had $12,885,000 in the repair and replacement fund. And then there's just a small amount of activity in the capital fund. The capital fund is another restricted fund that's only for purchases of new assets for the community. And at the end of April, it had $1,335,110. That's my treasurer's report. As always, my email and phone numbers in Lifestyles. Feel free to give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Now, CCL Food and Beverage update with Rachel and Javier, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. We wanted to start with our welcome celebration that we're planning for June 20th. And you'll be seeing this advertisement in your June Lifestyles magazine, and also upcoming on social media, the Sun Lakes Country Club website, email blasts, and also gate banners. We have a fun afternoon with culinary creations, signature cocktails, live music, raffle prizes, and more. So we invite you to come out and join us in the dining venues to celebrate and welcome everyone officially the partnership with Sun Lakes and CCL. I wanted to review some of the challenges that we've faced over this first 6 weeks of operation. And one of the challenges is the point of sale system, customer service, and feedback. So a little more detail on those. With the point of sale system, we're challenged with tablet connectivity to the Wi-Fi, and mostly related to the mobile credit card readers that we were attaching to the tablets to take your payment table side. Some of you may have not even experienced the opportunity to pay table side yet because of the connectivity issues that we've been having, but our Compass IT and the GEMPOS, the point of sale system team, is working diligently to adjust settings within the tablets and the credit card readers to keep them connected to the Wi-Fi. We did extensive Wi-Fi work prior to installing, so it's definitely not the actual Wi-Fi, it's just a setting within those that they're continuing to troubleshoot. And we do greatly appreciate all of the feedback that we've been receiving from the Happy or Not kiosks, as well as the QR codes, so please continue to share that with us. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we also put out some new menus with some adjustments to the menus based on the feedback that we received, and we will continue to do that. We are going to have continued training with the servers on customer service, which includes greeting guests and members in timely fashion and returning to your table to check on you. Make sure that we're refilling your drinks and providing you excellent service. And as Gary mentioned, we're continuing to balance staffing levels based on customer volume. So please continue to keep an eye out for specials. We're really trying to try some different things and see what will entice you all to come and join us in the dining venues. So keep an eye out for that. You'll see something for a special tomorrow in the restaurant, since we don't have karaoke anymore on Thursdays. We can have a nice, peaceful evening in the restaurant. And I don't know if all of you noticed, last week we lowered the price of Sunday brunch by $2, so we're offering Sunday brunch for $26. So please come check out Sunday brunch. Participation hasn't been as high as we hoped it would be. So we'll see if maybe the price point wasn't where it was gonna meet your needs. But we'll just continue to monitor the volume and hear the feedback about the desires for breakfast later on in the Sandwedge on Sundays, and continue to make those adjustments. So thank you for your patience with all of that. And really, like I said, the feedback is so important for us. We all read those comments in the Happy or Not on a regular basis, and we also report out to the board on the scores for the Happy or Not. And my last update is that we are actively working to get gift cards, and they should be here in a fairly short amount of time. I can't give you a timeline, but it's not going to take very long to make that happen. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Javier Sarmiento. I'm General Manager for Food and Beverage. So again, kind of piggyback off of what Rachel said. I do appreciate the feedback. I think that we cannot do this without your feedback. It is extremely important, and some of you have the opportunity to have emailed me several times on the connect to the manager or food and beverage manager. And now that I have access to be able to get that, my intention is to get to those emails and respond to those emails, and whether it be via phone call or actually, if it's something that is urgent, I will definitely get you your information back so I can talk more about the opportunities if we have an opportunity, or if it's even positive feedback. We always want to hear the positive feedback. I think that you guys touch base a little bit on the type of feedback that we get. Sometimes some comments can be a little bit harsh, and I understand that. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I appreciate the feedback. But just let's making sure that if anybody has anything to say, please come to my office. I'll be happy to have a one-on-one with you and just kind of discuss the issues and be happy to kind of talk about that. Additionally, there's if anybody's interested in having events, obviously that's always an opportunity to come and talk to me as well. And I'll be happy to sit down with you, and we're going to go over details if you're looking to book an event. Obviously, once you already have secured the space, and then we can talk about opportunities or something that in regards to menus and so forth. So please let us know if you're interested in having any events within your committees or your districts, and be happy to kind of assist you with that. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Javier, could I just ask a question for you to explain to the community one more time? We have basically the various venues and different menus in each of the venues. Could you explain why we have different menus in each venue and the ability to order, even though you don't have the menu in that venue, how you can order from a different menu?
So, as everybody understands, we have a centralized kitchen, right? We do have certain menus that are assigned to a particular area, for example, the restaurant, the sandwich, or the lounge itself. Now, if there's anybody in particular that would like to have a particular menu item, for example, we had a resident that wanted to have, dinner inside the lounge, but they didn't want to go necessarily sit by themselves in the actual restaurant. We'll be happy to attend you and help you with that, because again, it's coming out of all of the same kitchen. So we'll try to help you with that. And again, I'd rather, get you into that area and take care of you than lose a customer, right? So that's something that we're working on. I mean, sometimes, depending on the space, obviously it's a little bit challenging just because of, we have the veranda with everybody at the same time, then it's a little bit of a challenge to kind of, serve things from the restaurant all the way into the veranda. But again, we'll do everything in our power to accommodate as much as possible. Now, on that note, sorry, I meant to mention this as well. When we do have events at the veranda now, previously, for some reason or other, people weren't able to order until 6 o'clock in regards to food or beverages, right? So now we are allowing that to go away. And so as soon as you get there around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, if you want to park, not park, but if you want to get yourself into the veranda and start taking your spots, for the different venues that we have out there on Fridays and Saturdays, you can start ordering food. Not only that benefits us, but it also benefits you guys as far as like being able to get food right away. Because obviously, at 6 o'clock, it doesn't make sense to have, 100 orders to come in and flood the kitchen when I have the restaurant going at the same time. So again, trying to make, 500 meals come out in 1 hour. Try that and let me know how it works out for you. So.
Thanks, Javier. And if I could just add, you know, we have 3 different venues, right? And each one has its own identity. And so we built those menus based on the identity of those dining venues. But we do understand that you know that there's a half a sandwich and a cup of soup on the sandwich menu. And if you're in the lounge and you want that, just let your server know. But what we're not going to do is commingle the menus, where we're bringing the sandwich menu into the lounge and handing you 3 or 4 different menus for you to choose from. We want to keep each venue identity aligned, but also knowing that everything does come out of the same kitchen and just depends on what door you walk out of.
Thank you. To support the continued changes in the open board meeting, the entire board met with the committee chairs on Wednesday, April 29th, and discussed a number of different items, including ways that they felt we could improve this particular meeting. The discussion basically was to confirm with them and support them that the committees are important to the success of the board. And presently, the committees are reviewing their charters that they've had, their most recent charters that were approved. They're reviewing that with their members, and they're developing a draft for review with the board. The thing that's being done a little bit differently this year is we have a governance policy that was initially approved based on an April reading. We have a July format for that governance policy. The biggest changes from April to July was the addition of a format that the governance contractor, Sequoia Grove, was recommending. And that format basically develops a degree of consistency between the committees while still maintaining the integrity and the details of each of the different committees. So the committees are reviewing those now. The goal is to work on those, ask for assistance from the liaison, and get those back to us hopefully by the end of June. And we'll roll those into a new agenda for all the committees. So I think they're happy with doing that. But it's quite a progress to take an agenda that you've had over the last couple of years and trying to format it in a little different manner. As far as recommendations that the committees made to improve this meeting, they proposed to present the full 3-minute presentation once a quarter instead of every evening. But at this time, all the committees, if they have a significant information that they want to share with the community, they are free to do that at this time. If there are any committee chairs that would like to present, if you would line up behind the podium, because I'm not sure exactly who wants to present tonight, but that's available for all the committees to do. But we're going to try to keep the meeting a little bit shorter than normal, and keep the information current and relevant to this month. So, Michelle, would you like to start? Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Candace Jenkins, and I'm with EPAP. Welcome everyone to this meeting. We will not have an EPAP 101 in June due to Charity Week. Our meeting will conflict with the district delegate meeting. Dick Spalding and the radio group are working on getting new antennas placed on the roof of the main clubhouse. These antennas will work with the new radio system for Securitas and administration. We are fortunate to have 3 new residents move into Sun Lakes that have extensive emergency management experience, including using the ICS emergency systems. All of them have agreed to work with EPAP. You will have the opportunity to meet and talk with these individuals at one of our EPAP 101 meetings. As the weather gets warmer, we can expect some power outages to occur. Please prepare yourselves now. Make sure your flashlights and batteries are working. Know who to call if your power goes out. If it is during business hours, call Banning Utilities and that phone number. is 951-922-3174. If it occurs after hours, you will be calling the Banning Police Department non-emergency number, and that number is 951-922-3170. Then call EPAP, and our phone number is 951-524-3126. You may also call Securitas to let them know, and their number is 951-854-2163. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Master Board. Michelle Walter with the Marketing Committee. Unfortunately, we did not have a meeting in April. We're having our next meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The Marketing Committee will be working on a brochure for real estate and how to market getting new home buyers looking at Sun Lakes. We are still looking for one more member to complete our committee. If you're interested in participating in our Marketing Committee, please contact me. Mine is real quick this time. Our next welcome home is on July 24th at 5 o'clock. If you are a club or a group that would like to be included in our welcome home, please contact me and we will have a table set up for you. It was really great. We had about 12 tables last time, and people signed up. This is a great way to meet our new homeowners and get them involved in our activities. The following are the stats on the home sales in Sun Lakes from May 1st to May 27th. Active or coming soon, 72. 12 condos, prices from $299 to $372. 60 homes are for sale, prices from $324 to $575. In escrow are 20, 3 condos, 17 homes. Closed escrows were 8, and they were all homes, prices from $282 to $430. 1 condo price at $315. So if you take our 2310 times 8, that was $18,480, depending if they were all new home buyers. In April, 18 closed for a total of $41,580 that went into our replenishment replacement fund. Gary, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dave Puckett, chairperson for the RV Storage Lot Committee. I'm not going to read the whole report or anything, but I'm pushing RV spots. We currently have 4 spots available on the RV lot, ranging from sizes 21 to 32. So if anybody's interested in a spot, please contact Julie Jacobson in the administration office. And this is less spots available this month than last month, so they can go quick.
Thank you.
Evelyn Hawkins, Vice Chair of the Recreation Committee. We'd like to announce that the price for the comedy night on July 25th is now $15 per person, and we would like to have all of you come out. There's a limit of 4 tickets per household.
Thank you.
I'm John, and chairman of the Library Committee. The reorganization of all four libraries has been completed. Took about a couple of months. It was a horrendous mess. And books were shelved in the wrong genre, and some were in very sad condition. And so everything's in the right genre. The books are in the right respective genres. There's stickers with color stickers for their genre. Pink is romance, mystery is white, and green is large print, and so on. And today we purchased 27 more puzzles, and we're keeping books 20 years and younger. It expanded the range of books pretty much. And on June 12th, we're going to Michelle Books and purchase more books and maybe more puzzles. And we got a lot of confidence how nice and neat looking and organized all four libraries are. So I'm very happy with the results. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. President, I do have one report for a committee that is not here.
Thank you.
This is from the Golf Advisory Committee. the GAC would like to remind residents that the Charity Week Pro-Am Shootout will occur on Saturday, June 7th. Teams tee off on the championship hole 10 at 9 a.m. Teams are eliminated until one Pro-Am team is declared the champion on hole 18. This is the once-a-year opportunity for many residents and their guests to get their golf carts out on the course. If you don't have a cart, then you're still invited to walk the course and follow the action. For more details, see the Golf Advisory article in the June Lifestyle.
Thank you. I guess I'd just like to thank the committees again for everything that they do and their recommendations and suggestions, and look forward to seeing all those charters as you get done reviewing them. And as soon as we receive all the charters, we'll schedule a time to go through them with you collaboratively to make sure that everybody's on the same page on responsibilities and actions. So keep working on them, get them in. The next full presentation of all the committees will be done in July. So until July at the next meeting in June, anybody that feels, as they did tonight, something that was important that they wanted to share, will be able to do that, just like we did tonight. But the full presentation of all the committees will be in July. I'd also like to reinforce to all the committees that there's a standard invitation to all committees that they are available to meet with the board to discuss any issues that may develop that they need help on. So that's a standing opportunity for you. Also on committees here, Recreation Advisory Committee. Management has received an email from the Recreation Advisory Committee chairperson requesting that the board have a large TV installed in the main clubhouse multipurpose room instead of replacing the old projector. They feel this would get more use, would be easier to use, and they would like that mounted on the north wall. Does any board members have any questions, comments?
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Then I would like to ask for a motion to approve that.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Amazing, we get into the new technology of the decade, I guess. Club request from the Follies is requesting a donation. Management received an email from the Follies requesting permission to purchase and donate a mirror to be hung on the wall in the main clubhouse bus room. This room is often used by the performing clubs, and having a large mirror in the room would be beneficial to all these clubs. The size of the mirror the Follies would like to purchase is roughly 6 feet by 4 feet, and there's an attached letter if you have any additional questions. Does anybody have any issues with the size or location of the mirror? No? Residents? No? I ask for a motion to approve. Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor of installing their mirror?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Thank you. And we have a club request, a caregivers club. The Caregivers Club is requesting permission from the board to allow member Doug Swenson to conduct a tour of the championship golf course for their members. There would be no more than 6 golf carts participating in the event. The requested date for the tour would be Thursday, June 19th, 2025, beginning at 3 p.m. on the first hole. The tour of the 18 holes would take approximately 2 hours, and I guess the question I would ask before anything else, Chris or Jason, is there any issue with conducting a tour like that for the Caregivers Club? No? Is the timing appropriate? No conflicting issues there? Okay. Discussion from the board?
Yeah, 3 o'clock, no one's golfing.
All right. Like a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Thank you. Hope that takes care of everybody there. Delegate Assembly has some proposed, I won't call them changes, but a couple projects that they're looking to work on. As the entire board met with all the committee chairs, we also attended the last District Delegate Assembly meeting, all of us present. And thought we had a pretty good meeting working together on how we could support each other, how the board can support the delegates, getting information to residents, and residents getting information to the board through the delegates. What we also discussed was 2 projects that the board requested for the delegates to take action on. And I'd like to introduce those 2 projects at this point. The first one is a demographic survey of residents by district. It's very, very important for the board and management to really understand our community. You know we have seniors here. We have a lot of new residents moving in here, many of which are still working. We have homes that are vacant, homes that are rentals, and an age group that we really don't understand that well. We did the required age verification survey. We got good response back on that. And that'll be a major part of understanding the demographics here. So we can schedule meetings at appropriate times so that we can provide services at the appropriate time to service our wide range of demographics. So I'd like to introduce the people that have volunteered for this project on the delegate. The project is to be headed by Carly Beeks from District 14, B. Mercado, District 15, Linda Viero, District 9, Dave Miller, District 5, and Jim Nickel, District 3. At this point, does anybody have an update on the project? We're just getting started. Carly? Please. Got to go to the mic.
Hello, yes, my name is Carly Beeks from District 14, and tomorrow we will be meeting at my house at 11 a.m. And I've also included 2 more people to the committee, which will be Michelle Walters, and she's in charge of the marketing, and also Linda Spalding, because 2 of the other people, Dolores and Linda Vieira, won't be able to attend. Oh, I guess Linda now is attending. Perfect. Yes, perfect. So we'll have something to report back next month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just to clarify the project, we're not looking for an in-depth ask all questions survey. We're really trying to focus on a small number of questions that really tells us a lot about the community. The project is basically 2 phases. The first phase that's being kicked off is basically the mechanics, how we're going to get a survey delivered to residents, how we intend on, how the district delegates recommend getting that information back, how to keep track of those, and how to follow up on those that we haven't got answers to. So that's the primary initial goal of the team to get started. And we do have quite a goal, and the goal is to achieve a 70% or better response rate. So I think you know from our voting history that is a great challenge, and we're looking forward to seeing how we might best get responses back to that. The second phase of the project is to actually discuss the questions, but we need to get the machine in process first so we know how to do that. And in the meantime, management will be going through the age verification report and trying to group residents in 5-year buckets by district, as well as looking at the other data that we need, which is vacant homes, rentals, and the like. And that's the focus of this survey. So we're pretty excited. We're looking forward to working with the district delegates further on that. And the second project was to review and make recommendations on the Sun Lakes website. I believe that was a project that the delegates felt would be best worked with the representatives from the marketing committee. And I don't know if, Michelle, if you guys have had a chance to talk about this. It was just a little while ago. So look forward to updating information on studying our website. Oh, I just went blank. Okay. The next topic on the agenda is a proposed rule change. Chris, would you please read that rule change?
Thank you. The attached rule change, I believe it was in the back, but it will also have a map on the front. The proposed rule change will affect Article 5, Planning and Compliance, Section 5.02, Pets. The board is introducing this at this meeting. The board would vote after the comment period at its July 23rd, 2025 meeting. And if approved at that meeting, the board would vote to, this rule would take effect August 1st, 2025. The purpose of the rule, the Board of Directors proposes to adopt a new rule restricting the presence of dogs and other pets in a specific area of the common area, the northwest quadrant of the main clubhouse complex, in order to maintain cleanliness, safety, and enjoyment of all residents. That map at the top, and I don't have a pointer, Jay, but it's at the top right corner or left corner of your screen up there, is the area that this rule would pertain to. The effect of the rule change, if adopted, will create a restricted area for dogs and other animals within the common area of the main clubhouse complex, again, the northwest quadrant. Now, the specific rule changes, and I will read those as required under the Civil Code. Section 5.02, and this is all language would be added, that's for tonight's discussion of this rule change. 5.02.12, restricted areas. Dogs and other pets are not permitted in the northwest quadrant of the main clubhouse complex, defined as the northwest greenbelt bordered by Country Club Drive and the main clubhouse parking lot. Appropriate signage will be installed at visible locations indicating the pet restriction. Exception, assistant animals, see section 10.04 of the rules, and temporary transit. Dogs may pass through the restricted area only when required for access to other areas of the complex and must remain leashed and under control at all times. Pet waste must be cleaned up immediately by the handler. And the other change is to 10.04, accommodations. The association, as required by federal and state law, will permit reasonable accommodations where necessary for a resident to have equal opportunity to use and enjoy their residence. Where the need for the accommodation is obvious, such as the use of a trained certified guide dog for the visually impaired, no prior accommodation request will generally be needed. However, most scenarios where a resident might require an accommodation due to a disability are not inherently obvious, and for those scenarios, the resident should reach out to the association to request an accommodation. Such requests should describe the requested accommodation and provide proof of disability and the disability-related need for the requested accommodation. The association is not asking for and does not require the accommodation request to specify the disability for which the accommodation is sought. Instead, where the disability is not obvious, the association seeks confirmation that the resident has a disability as defined under state or federal law. That confirmation can be in the form of a doctor's note, copy of a handicap parking placard issued to the resident by the state of California, proof of receipt of disability benefits, or any other evidence tending to establish that the resident has a disability. The accommodation request should also include information tending to establish why the accommodation is needed so as to permit the resident equal opportunity to use and enjoy their dwelling. The association anticipates responding to such requests promptly and seeking and exchanging information from the requested party where necessary to evaluate the accommodation request. By way of example, the association is prepared to consider granting a disabled resident with an emotional support animal, ESA, permission to have the ESA accompany them where needed in an area where animals are otherwise prohibited. Since such scenarios are not obvious, the resident should seek and obtain the accommodation before bringing the ESA into an area where animals are otherwise prohibited. That is the full reading of the rule change, Mr. President.
Thank you. Just for clarification, the primary reason for this rule change prohibits dogs from gathering and with residents in accompanying them, but does not prohibit homeowners from walking their dogs through this common area, correct?
That is correct. The resident with their dog can cross the area, but they cannot stay there for an extended period of time. They can only use that as a sort of easement from one location to the other. For example, the sidewalk that is next to the homes along that area, and a person on that sidewalk leaving the sub-association, coming across to go to the main clubhouse would be an acceptable easement, in essence, getting their way to the main clubhouse.
Thank you for the clarification. I think there was some misunderstanding about that. Before we begin to discuss the proposed change, I think it's important for some background. A previous board spent months working with the dog owners to research locations to find a suitable place for a dog park. After months, it was determined that there was not a suitable location that would not infringe on residents' right to quiet enjoyment of their property. At the open board meeting on April 24th, a year ago, 2024, it was announced that there was not a suitable location in Sun Lakes that residents would approve. The feasibility report was shared and published at that time, and there were no comments from any residents during that April meeting. If anybody would like to review that, the April minutes are online, and you could see the context there and the report. The board has a responsibility to hear and act on any issues presented to them from all residents as well as from security. The issue we are discussing today is related to actions that a group of dog owners made to establish a non-approved dog park in the common area abutting residents' property in the space between the clubhouse and Country Club Drive. Complaints have included dogs off leash, dogs barking, dogs fighting, as well as excessive noise. It's unfortunate that this situation only confirms the findings that were discovered from the previous dog park research over a year ago. And just to summarize that in a little bit more detail, that team of Randy and Beverly on the board was formed in November of 2020. They continue to work with the committee, and on March 23rd, an initial report was prepared. In April 2023, the dog park was approved by the board pending finding a feasible location. In April of 2024, it was deemed that that was not a feasible project. So, you know, we love our pets and enjoy everything they bring to our lives, but we must remember and understand, Sun Lakes was never designed with a dog park in mind, which we all knew when we bought our homes. Altus, the community down the street here, is still being developed and is researching ways that a dog park might be included in a phase not yet built, and is struggling with trying to understand all the issues that a dog park brings. Before the board takes any action, we'd like to hear from the community. Please be brief with your comments and focus on the issues at hand.
I would like to make one comment, if I may. The board will vote upon this proposed amendment in July 23rd, not tonight. A decision is not being made tonight. So if you have concerns or opinions, share them with the board member or your district delegate, and let us know what your preference is and why. But today, we're not voting on this. We're announcing it, we're going to publicize it, but the vote itself will take place on July 23rd.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, first resident would be Pam Obney. Followed by Candace Jenkins, Donna Dernmeyer, Jean Moyer, and Joan Burke.
Hello, I'm Pam Obry, and I am a dog owner, and I really enjoy meeting with my friends that have dogs. Gives them a time to play, get together. Now, if you think it's dirty, you haven't been to the doggy park. Now, there's an occasional mess that someone doesn't pick up, but I'm not sure they're not coyotes at night. We pick up, and I also know that there's some people who bought a dog, and as the years goes on, they can no longer bend over to pick it up. So their friends pick it up. What if their friends aren't there? I think they just leave it. Now, I still think if you consider the golf course, people who live on the golf course, and I'm one of them, occasionally get a golf ball at their window and it breaks. The golfers don't volunteer to clean up the mess, and the homeowner is just stuck. Are we willing to close down the golf course at that hole? Does that sound unreasonable? It would stop the problem and stop the complaints. But I have a feeling that we wouldn't close a hole just because there's golf balls. That's what golf balls do. And the fact we don't have a doggy park, we still get together. I've seen them all over the place. People meet and sit, and they enjoy themselves. The dogs aren't killing each other. Obviously, people wouldn't go if it was. They enjoy, they play, they smell, they walk around, and the people take care of each other. I don't think doggy parks are dirty. I don't think you've gone to one if you think they are. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, folks. I'm Donna Dunmeyer. I am challenged in my mobility, so the park that I choose to go to is that little corner. I maybe once a day walk a neighbor's dog. She's homebound, can't walk her little baby, and I take little Susie out there, and the greatest pleasure she has is to lay in that grass for 10, 15 minutes and feel the breeze on her face and drink a little water from a cup I'll give her. She doesn't leave poop that I don't clean up. She doesn't bark. She doesn't fight. She's just a sweet little 93-year-old in-dog years dog that my friend is no longer able to take out. To take this tiny piece of park, and that's another issue. Just as you said, Sir President, you couldn't find a place for a dog park. So we have maybe 3 little plots of green that we can take our babies to, and one is that northwest corner. Another is over on, what's the beach road? On Myrtle Beach Place over by Gate 5, and the other one is outside the community at Gate 3. Those are our only places, so the Dog Owners Club are limited to go to places like that for their 1 hour per month meetings, where they put up a temporary little fence, and for 1 little hour, the little babies get to walk around and socialize with each other. It's our joy. I don't play pickleball. I don't golf. I don't play tennis. I don't go to clubs because of my mobility. But I do love walking dogs and meeting the other dog owners on the sidewalks as we pass by. Please don't infringe upon our joy by taking this park away. We'll go to other parks, or we'll break your rule. I don't know which, but it feels like little by little you're going to marginalize dog owners and dogs until eventually we can't even walk them outside of our homes. I hope and I pray that you will reconsider. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Candace Jenkins. This proposal is unfair to all the dog owners in Sun Lakes. To me, it does not seem reasonable to take away the amenity of hundreds of dog owners to satisfy the complaint of one individual. Did you contact the dog owners group to see if there were some other ways to resolve this issue? After reading your proposal, I realized that the complaint contains an ADA accommodation request. There must be some other way to accommodate this individual without restricting and infringing on the rights of hundreds of Sun Lake residents, and is that even legal? What assurances can you give the dog owners that this will be the only common area that will be restricted? If we move to another common area and a resident decides to complain, then what are you going to do? Restrict dogs and people from gathering in all the common areas? The common areas are one of our amenities in this community. We meet there to socialize with people and our own dogs and to socialize our dogs as well. I do not use any of the other amenities that Sun Lakes has, and that is my choice. So taking away the ability to socialize with other dog owners is a problem for me. Consider this my complaint. The HOA dues pay for all the amenities. Maybe I should deduct money from my HOA dues since you are restricting me from using them.
Good evening. I'm Joan Burke. I am the chairperson for the homeowners or the dog owners group. And the dog owners we have over 2,000 dogs here in Sun Lakes. I don't know that anybody has a real count of how many dogs, but we have at least 140 members of our group, and granted, they don't all come out at the same time. We have had complaints from some of the residents that back up to that lot, and we have addressed those. We have answered their requests. They asked us to move from the grass to the parking lot, and we did that. Do you realize we're only out there for 30 minutes a day? And for 30 minutes a day, they want to shut down that whole park? That's just unreasonable. How about headphones or something that she just can't hear us? It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let me go on here. We have, the Grassy Knoll is one of our favorite places, and that's what we call it, the Grassy Knoll. We're going dark. It's one of our favorite places, and we meet there almost every day, and we walk our dogs around the clubhouse, and then we go back to the parking lot, and we sit there and talk for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then we go home. I'm here to let you know that I want to give you verbal notice that what we are planning on doing is, and we'll follow this up with a written notice to the board, that the dog owners group is going to facilitate the petition from the homeowners that we not put this into a rule. We do not accept this rule, and we want it reversed. So I know you haven't voted on it, and maybe you'd like to take a chance and talk to the dog people to get some insight as to what we see and what we would like to do, instead of just cutting us down. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is John Santillan, and I live in Sun Lakes. One of the things I heard somebody mention up to that a dog park has never been an issue for Sun Lakes, or never had one, right? But we've always been dog friendly. Thank you. We've always been a dog friendly community, whether we have a dog park or not. One of the issues that I'd like to see along from you guys is to give us the specifics on the safety concerns that you have. The houses that face, or not even face that area, it's a backyard, has about a 6-7 foot wall with about 3 foot base. There are no doors, there's no foot traffic. It's basically a golf trail coming off the 18th hole. We get walking along Sun Lakes, very few traffic going through that grassy area. Okay? The amount of time that we spend there on a daily basis, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. The dogs are really good. They don't fight. Occasionally they'll bark. We're asking that you please reconsider. As a homeowner here with my dog, there's nothing better than for me is to have my dog out there. He loves to go out there. And we would really, really appreciate you guys not changing this rule for us. Okay?
Thank you.
I just have one or two comments, is that I find it very odd because when pickleball was formed, y'all found a place to put a pickleball court. And we got dogs, but you can't find a place for a dog park. The other thing is, you referred to those grassy areas as easements. They're common areas. We paid for the common areas. And I think it's up to you to find a dog park and make it accessible. And these complaints that you had about dogs barking, I've been to all of these, the one at Gate 6, the one at Gate 3. I walk dogs, I babysit dogs in the community. I've never seen dogs fighting and barking. So I don't know what they're hearing or saying, or they just don't want it in their backyard. But that's all I have to say, but I do think it falls on you to find a place, just like you did for pickleball. Amen.
Hi, my name is Melinda Beverly. I own a house in Sun Lakes. I have 2 dogs. I am not part of the group that goes and participates be outside Gate 3 because that's what I'm closest to, or over here by the main clubhouse. But I do see them, and I love seeing them enjoy just sitting there, spending time with their friends. You know, I have a Great Dane, so it's a little bit different, but small dogs, they're just socializing. That's what they're doing. They're older folks. And again, I agree totally with Ms. Bolton said. We did not have pickleball in mind when we developed Sun Lakes either. But when people wanted pickleball, we accommodated it and we supported it because we wanted people to get the most enjoyment out of the community that they can. And I want to state that, you know, if you really look around and open your eyes, we have 3,000 somewhat homes in here. And so I would say 6,000 people. We've probably got 2,000 dogs that live in Sun Lake. And I've never seen somebody, and I live on a main corner, and they love my yard because it's big in the front, that never picks up after their dog. Now, you went to the expense to put in dog waste stations so they have bags to pick up their poop, and now you want to change just this one little area that we, like they said, to enjoy this. I'm very opposed to it. And like I said, I'm not part of that group, but let them have their enjoyment. Come on. We don't take your enjoyment away from you. And I have another comment. You already voted on the thing about having the karaoke, which I don't participate in either, but it brings in a lot of liquor sales to the bar. And you didn't even give us a chance to speak on that. And that's another thing limiting things. They did the karaoke to bring in more interest into the bar that we spent quite a bit of money renovating out of our dues. So I just think we should have been able to speak on that before you voted on it. And another thing, you decided to hold a 3 o'clock board meeting while they're having Wednesday night entertainment in there. I can clearly hear it in here. Does that disrupt your meeting? You know, I mean, you're being nitpicky about these things. And you've changed rules and CC&Rs to accommodate other things, and now you want to change our CC&Rs to accommodate because it didn't go along with what somebody else wanted. I just want to go on record that I'm totally opposed to it. So, you know, you'll vote on it. I hope you make a wise decision because I think you're going to offend a lot of people and you're going to have a lot more houses for sale in here. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeannie Moyer. I am so upset about the dogs. But my mom always said, if you have a problem, have a solution. My solution is on the top, Breckenridge, where our firemen are when they come and protect our properties. There's a park back there. And Joe, you said there's a lot of our community land that we do not use up there. I want to see us have an opportunity for our babies. I don't, again, give a solution, you know? So my solution is put some grass up there. They want grass. They like to pee, they like to poop, they like to smell butts. But that's the truth. But there's 3,500 homes and over 2,000 dogs, come on. And there's not 2,000 pickleball people. So there's a place where our firemen go to protect us. And it's a big, huge yard, and it backs up to a mountain. Okay, so let's check on it, okay? Let's make it happen, and so all these people can be happy. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
And one more thing. District 19, we're losing our post woman. Her name is Barbara. Friday's her last day. 36 and a half years here. Leave her a nice note or just say thank you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Teresa Solomon Billings, and I live over on Orange Tree. I worry you might be starting a slippery slope with this. Let me back up. That we might be starting a slippery slope and end up moving into other common areas as well. We came from a very brief period of staying in a place where you had to put your dogs in your cars and take them outside of the community to walk. We left a lease early, losing our money because it was not worth it for us to live in a community that was like that. We hear music. We live on Orange Tree, which is the 13th hole if you don't know it. But on Friday and Saturday nights, we listen to the music from the clubhouse. If I complain, will you stop the music? Will you turn it down? I live on that golf course. This morning, there was a couple of men that made a great shot, and they were hooping and hollering. It woke me up from my nap in my hammock. Are you going to stop it if I complain? That now we can't have joy? Is that really what you're trying to do? The same way with the pool. If I'm sitting out there enjoying lunch, are you going to stop people from having joy in the pool? That's what it paramounts to. And I don't think you guys want to steal people's joy. This is an amazing community. We have been so happy here with just walking our dogs, playing pickleball. I'm a pickleball player. I'm one of the lack of the 2,000. But we just enjoy the community. And this just seems like you're trying, that it feels like it's stifling. And having came from and experienced a community that's like that, it wasn't fun. Again, we lost money. I'd lose it again today to leave a community like that. I don't want to be part of that. So I hope you reconsider and think of the community as a whole. And I hope you dog owners, if you can't pick up your poop and you see me, flag me down. I'll pick up your poop for you.
Good afternoon. I'm Gail Billick, and I have a real concern with transparency. Transparency that you were going to bring things to the community before you took action. 30-day read is not bringing something to the community before you're taking action. It's the process. Hopefully in the future you're going to stop, put together some town hall meetings, some group meetings, and talk about the issues and come up with some solutions before we have to make changes. If changes need to be made, fine. But we need to be out there and talking to everybody before the changes are made, and we need to think ahead. The dog park was approved. No, there wasn't an area found, and maybe it's time to table what you're trying to do, look at the areas again, and stop and say, you know, maybe there is a place we can put this up. We have a different board, we have different views, and we can all work together. But we need to take a step back before we make change. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Paula Jordan. I recently moved in here because I heard it was a great place to live, and I have a couple of dogs who enjoy living here too. And I wanted to point out that the main purpose of the board is to maintain and enhance the amenities for the benefit of our membership. And I have served on a board before, so I know what it's like to hear people complain, and I understand that it can be difficult to, pursue and commit yourself to do your job. But as the lady before me said, the idea is to strive for the best for the community and for what they want, and not for the one person that was staring at us on that little grassy mound, giving us an evil glare for half an hour when we're out there with our dogs. One person. How did this come about, this proposal? So how did it come to be that this proposition came about to block this little small area of the grass? I know you can't answer me right now, but I want to know, why did this even happen to begin with? Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
My name is Thelma Thomas, and my husband and I moved into Sun Lakes in 1990. He passed, and I moved away for a short time. In 2012, I thought of Sun Lakes and all the fun things and the wonderful things that we had when we were in Sun Lakes. I moved back to Sun Lakes to have the good times and the fun times. Now, I come down Country Club Drive, and here's this nice grass area with the people sitting there with their dogs, visiting, having fun, relaxing, having a good time. Why do you want to take it away from them? Let them enjoy Sun Lakes. That's what it's here for.
Good afternoon, Board. Question for you. I'm sitting in the back, and it sounds like there's only one person complaining. Is that correct? I don't see no heads moving. Is there only one person? How many are military veterans on the board? Not one, two? In war, you have casualties of war. Do you save 1,000 or do you save one? What do? You have a casualty of war. You saved 1,000, not the one. So I encourage you to not vote for this dog park, not vote for this easement or whatever you want to call it, but it sounds like you already made up your mind. But just use caution, one against thousands. It can be a rolling effect on your careers as the board members too. And some of you have already been. Thank you. Anyways, please, think about it. 1 or 1,000. Thanks.
Thank you. Joan, would you mind coming back up to the mic for just a minute, if you can?
Joan Burke.
Joan Burke.
Yes.
Thank you. If I understood correctly, you have about 140 members?
Currently, yes.
Okay, that's great. We just want to let you know that, decisions like these are not fun to make, And we have not made that decision yet. We will take in information from...
I appreciate that.
From all the residents. But this board has also been discussing the situation. We know we went through from the last 3 years trying to find a suitable dog park, which these common areas have not been able to be supported.
Well, Don, part of the problem is you're trying to keep 3,000 homes happy. And if you have one home, then I don't get a park.
Okay. No, nobody said it was one home, but hang with me for a minute here, okay?
Okay.
So the board's been discussing this situation, and we have some ideas that we'd like to talk to you about.
I would love that.
You know, some of your members referenced some areas that a dog park might be put that doesn't impact the residents' peace and quiet and all those other issues that do come with dog parks. I guess what we are trying to tell you is that it might be possible to create a dog park in the area above Breckenridge. Is that an option? Is that an option that your group would be interested in?
You know, we went up to Breckenridge and we looked at that area, and although we think that the area could be rehabbed into a nice area, it would be more expensive. That area, unfortunately, is so remote that if one person was up there with their dog, it would be a fright that maybe a coyote would attack. It would be a fright because maybe your cell phone isn't going to work up there. So, I mean, if there is a way to have assurities that we will be able to contact people if an emergency arises, because that's our biggest fear is
Right.
the wildlife in Sun Lakes.
So there's a lot of things to consider when you look at a project like this.
Exactly.
You know, you have cost to design and construct. You have ongoing cost to maintain the area. We'll have additional liability insurance that we're going to have to cover, and procedures on how it will be used, hours of operation, who does what, who takes care of that. And we've had a discussion on that, and it kind of seems obvious that it probably is not fair for all residents that don't have dogs be forced to pay for a dog park, and there would be costs that would have to be covered. I think that's obvious, right? What we'd like you to do, if you would, please discuss this project with your group and see if you'd be willing to participate in some of the funding of it, just like Four Seasons has done in setting up their dog park. It's going to take some time to figure it all out, but we're willing to look at what it would take to do that if you're willing to put the effort in and make a contribution.
We are willing to put the effort in.
Okay.
But now, Dawn, the other area I would like to suggest that you look at is the outside of Gate 3, where dogs have been meeting there ever since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And I do know that there have been one or two people who said, no, they didn't want it there, but they've already got it there.
Well,
Anyway,
there's a
thought.
lot of issues that were looked at over a number of years to try to find a place that would be suitable to residents.
Right.
Residents were overwhelmingly unwilling to accept dog parks near their homes. That's documented, it's fact, you can see the report. But we'd like to work with you and see if we could find a way to make this area work for you. It would involve putting a fence around it, grading it, put a patio cover of some sort in there. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. But those are the things that we'd have to figure out. And
Invite me to a meeting, Dawn, and I'll be there.
you are invited to the meeting on June 11th to provide your group's interest to the board.
Okay?
Okay? And again, we need to discuss how we're going to fund it. And we already have some ideas of how it was done in Four Seasons, but we're willing to look at it if you're willing to participate in it and consider that area.
Okay?
Does that make anybody happier than you were when you came in?
Yes.
I would like to propose, if you don't mind, that this matter be postponed 1 month because the clock is ticking as of this date. So if we're going to discuss and try to work out a different location, what's the rush? Why can't we postpone this for 1 month?
I'd like a motion to, whoops. Go ahead, Chris.
Actually, you would just deny the reading, because then when you're ready for it to come back, then it can come back, but deny it, so there's no clock, it's done.
I make a motion that we deny the meeting.
I second.
The reading.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We're trying to make everybody happy in an imperfect world. Uh-oh. Yeah, tell me what's next. Let's see here. Okay, the next items would be board projects and activities. As we introduced at the last meeting, there's a number of projects that the board is working on. It's pretty disappointing, to be perfectly honest with you, if the rest of the meeting is not important to you. We do this for the benefit of you guys. Thank you. Okay, this part of the meeting is disappointing. This part of this meeting is to give you additional information relative to projects that the board is working on in executive session, and I'll kind of go through these. Some of these we have decisions on, and they're close to being completed, but they were on the list, so we're going to cover them one more time. The spectrum update, I think, as you know, has already been implemented. If anybody has any questions on installation or features, please contact Spectrum directly. Security update, as you heard earlier this evening, the board has looked at the reporting that Securitas was putting and made some changes so that we're focusing on the major issues that affect residents, and we're looking at taking action on those major issues. In addition to that, we're also looking at some other areas, and Joe, could you touch base on some of the areas that we're looking at to improve security?
Sure, Don. With regards to security, I've been working actively with everybody on the board to try to increase our awareness of what's going on in our community and protect us better. I've currently received some preliminary quotes on 16,000 feet of fence line fiber optics that would protect the entire north side of our property and a portion of the south side. I just received another quote on an AI technology license reader system for all 6 gates, which would monitor all vehicles going in and off the property at all times, doing away with the little sticker that you wait 3 weeks to pick up and get. So we're looking to work with Chris Mitchell moving forward on some of these projects and find out financially if it makes sense for us to move forward to make us a safer facility. In addition to that, the board has decided that Bob Walters and myself would meet monthly with the chief of the police department to stay current with what the city's doing, and that we can communicate better with him and let him know what we're doing to protect ourselves. So, Mr. Walters, do you have anything?
No, just we had done that previously. We met not every month, but every other month, and we want to continue that and make sure that we're receiving the appropriate services from Banning PD. We pay taxes, so we need patrol and we need services, but you have to keep after them. The main thing is that if you're concerned about something, you know, your safety, or you feel that there's a law violation, do not call Securitas. Call Banning PD. Yeah, and the more calls that come into them, the more they're going to respond and assign patrol officers to our community. That's how it works. And the other thing I want to mention is on the Spectrum update, we should be receiving our check from them on June 26th. That's the scheduled date. So we'll be happy on the 27th, that's for sure.
Is that a day the bank is open? Okay, thank you. Procurement Committee, we discussed with you that we'd like to reinstate or find a way to do a better job on procurement. We have a couple residents that have stood up and are willing to work on that project with us, and we will be meeting as a committee, hopefully, probably not next week because of Charity Week. It's probably a bad week to try to schedule a meeting, but shortly after that to come up with some ideas and some plans on how we can handle procurement a little differently than we have been. Governance policy update. We have, as a board, reviewed the original April version, and the board has now received the final July version, which, as I stated, the biggest change in there is the committee charters. And we think that's important so residents, so committees know what their objectives are, and it works for them, it works for the board, because they're there to help us and advise us. The parliamentary procedures, that is also moving forward as we stated, and I believe Howard Katz will be making a presentation. We asked him to get involved in that. You know, Robert's Rules of Order is a wonderful document, but it's over 1,000 pages and it's kind of unwieldy. So Howard's going to tell you about his team that he put together and where he's at with that project. Go ahead, Howard.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Master Board, FSR representatives, HOA members, and guests. I appreciate this opportunity to address you on the subject to create an express and usable version of Robert's Rules of Order for Sun Lakes Country Club. In other words, to write a parliamentary procedure for Sun Lakes based on Robert's Rules of Order. Donde approached me on April 21st about this because the Master Board wanted to use Robert's Rules of Order, but they thought maybe it's too large or huge. It's only 1,135 pages of rules and detail on what to do, to whom, when, plus pages of addenda and explanations. It's too big, too cumbersome for a little group like this. Don asked me if it would be possible to create a version not to exceed 40 pages. Well, even 40 pages, my response was too large. 20 pages or less was more appropriate, and that should be able to be completed within a month. I asked 3 other people to help me, Harry Finnegan, Cal Martin, who you know is a district delegate from 21 and the chair of the District Delegate Assembly, and Greg Voitko, district delegate from 16. They agreed and we began. With their contributions, I was able to write a 13-page summary of parliamentary procedures, plus 6 pages of cover, table of contents, and a reference list. Something small enough to be easily used by the board, maybe the advisory committees, and the District Delegate Assembly. The Master Board approved the first draft on May 14th at an executive session. Final draft was delivered to them on May 20th. I'm hoping for the Master Board's approval in early June. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Nice job. I'd like to thank all the members of the team that worked so hard on putting that together. It's a lot better with 35 pages than 1,100, right? Okay. Let's see here. HOA insurance. Gary, could you give an update on what we're doing with that or trying to?
I'll make this short because I'm getting thirsty. But anyway, insurance continues to be a challenge for our community. We spent an hour today with our insurance attorney, or our attorney on insurance, looking at different coverage that we have, and he's making some recommendations. We've looked at partnering up with other communities, and we're still pursuing that idea. We looked at an exotic form of insurance called captive insurance, and that doesn't sound promising for our community. One thing that is in the works right now, one of the biggest insurance brokerage houses in the world is Gallagher Insurance, and we are working with them. We're in the process of providing them information so they can give us a proposal that hopefully is more competitive than what we currently have. And that's what's going on. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks, Gary. The Finance Reserve Reporting Update, basically, as you heard this evening, we just approved 2 new members to join the Finance Advisory Committee. So projects that the Finance Committee is working on, that'll be a work in progress, and we'll keep you posted on that. Food and beverage transition. Jason, could you run the screen for us on that? Yeah, we can't see, so I trust you to push the buttons right. As we've already discussed with Rachel and Javier and Gary's report, we had 3 weeks of sales in the month of April, and they sold $163,616 of food and alcohol in that month in 3 weeks. That far exceeds the original plan of $150,000, and they did it in only 3 weeks. So that's a real accomplishment for them, and it's an accomplishment for you because you guys came out in full bore to see what we were all about, and you participated. Just to compare, the sales for February before this transition began, which started in March, the sales was $107,000, $107,678. So the CCL staff came in, saw all that volume, and they staffed with extra hours and hired over 12 new staff members. They implemented the Happy or Not feedback kiosk and also the ability to access that through a QR code on your receipt. So if you look at your receipt, you can give their comments, what you liked, what you would like to see done differently. If there's menu items that you would like to add or delete, that's the place to do it. You can tell a board member anything you want, but go straight to the source. They're listening, and if you notice the differences between the Easter brunch and the Mother's Day brunch, they listened to what you said and accommodated and made changes. Resident satisfaction has also improved through the month, and I'll share that with you for a little bit. But we do still have opportunities. Trying to understand residents' participation schedules. What that means is they came in here not knowing when you were going to eat, where you wanted to go, what you wanted to buy, so they staffed heavily to cover those areas. Going forward, they need to figure out, and they're capturing the data to do that, so they staff efficiently in the times where it's going to be slow, and staff heavy or effectively in times when we're busy. So that's an opportunity. Understanding residents' menu expectations is really important, and your feedback, as Rachel said, and Javier, that is important. They've already introduced a new menu after only 5 weeks to add items to the dinner menu as well as the sandwich and lounge menus. Training of existing and new staff as well as kitchen staff is ongoing, will not happen overnight, and that is continuing, as I said. And we need to focus on service as well as consistency. They're aware of that, and they're making changes. The next slide, Jason, with a little colored graph. The CCL shares this information with us every month. Actually, every week we talk about that along with everything else. The board in a partial mode, Gary, myself, and Steve on Reich, meet with them 2 weeks a month, and they meet with the entire board the other 2 weeks. So we meet with them and talk about opportunities and things that need to improve, things that are going great. But what this graph shows you is the results of your comments to the Happy or Not kiosk. Between April 1st and April 30th, they received 377 comments from residents. And I don't know if you can follow the blue line or not, but if you just look at the 2 black lines on the top graph, the black line on the left-hand side is their average acceptance rate or performance rate, their happy scale. And what you can see, if you look at the second half of the year and look at the second black line, that is the improvement in satisfaction with residents. They started off really rough on April 7th. If you look at the number of red bars in that first section where that first black line is drawn, a lot of people were not real happy about the operation. But look at that black line and the amount of green and the reduction in the red or unhappy readings. They're listening, they're making changes and improving. So responses back to them on what you like, what you need to see improved is important, and they're looking at it. One of the things that's also pretty exciting, and it may be getting in the weeds a little bit, but some of us like hot wings, okay? Hot wings were on the menu in the sandwich. We said, Rachel, why did you cancel the hot wings in the sandwich? She looked on her computer, and within about 2 minutes, she said, between April 1st and May 11th, we only sold 60 orders of hot wings in the sandwich. They did sell 806 orders of fries, 150 stuffed mushrooms, and 292 sliders. So that's why the hot wings came off the menu. Now, you have an opportunity, though, with the Happy or Not kiosk, that if you would like, obviously it didn't work in the sandwich, okay? It didn't fit the menu, the type of dining that you guys want to do. If you want hot wings in the lounge, tell them. And get up over 68 orders so I can have my hot wings on Friday night. So anyways, the ongoing forward, we need to continue to understand resident schedules. We're coming through a honeymoon period. We saw it when Boston Pizza opened, right? They were slammed. You couldn't get in the door. And you go over there now and you have no problem getting a seat. Residents came out in force and supported CCL, and they're continuing to do that. The participation in sales in all those venues is far greater than it's been in many, many years. So keep coming out, keep participating. And while we do that, they will continue to balance the labor to you coming, improve the customer service and consistency through training, and they will work hard to get this POS and billing function working. And they also will be expanding marketing to include food and beverage experiences. So my motto is, and I think theirs and yours, make it fun and we'll come, right? Okay? So that's the end of that presentation. At this point, what I'd like to do is open it up to resident comments. Ken Johnson, Birdie Drive.
Going to make this short because drink time,
Thank
party
you.
time. Ken Johnson, Birdie Drive, residents, management, and board. 3 things. Spectrum. Gary, thank you for bringing the account exec and clearing up issues. I'd like to report, and I volunteer to help if district delegates, Cal thinks there's some need. It's not an easy transition to the new package. I put on ESPN Plus. I received a bill for $13 because I hadn't turned in my second DVR. I had to go to Tex to get the people to activate. Their activation program doesn't occur. So maybe we can use the account rep in some Spectrum support to help us in the community get across. TV had to get changed because of network connections. The modem didn't work, It wasn't an easy transition. So hope, and I'm not done yet, hopefully you can get that on June 26th at $1,663,500, and you can tell us how you're going to use it and how it was deployed. I think it's still important to understand where that money is going, because I think there's still going to need some help for residents to make the conversion. As a resident, I did my food and beverage commitment. I went to the dining room. I spent my $100 and some, and I'm glad to hear you're working on performance. There was issues, delivery. I think that the chart that was up there and how you're doing things needs to be put out in a special notice to the community so they know that things are being worked on. They know that things have changed. But even more important, hopefully, after you fix the lounge with acoustics, you don't forget about the acoustics in the sand wedge. That's why some people aren't coming. They're not coming because it's not enjoyable. And hopefully, you can work on the HVAC so I'm not freezing inside the ballroom when I'm attending an event, or where I'm under a vent in the dining room. I'd like to make sure that you guys' success keeps on coming, so I'm pressing out the word, but I think you need to help push a little bit more of your community of what you're doing. Last item, I attended and made sure I did a garage sale, and it was the most disappointing time that I've had since I've been in Sun Lakes. I'd like to see that you put back on the ballot and let residents determine, can we open up garage sales to the public? It used to be great. We had a lot of fun. The community enjoyed it. They came to Sun Lakes. They helped clean up my garage, and I enjoyed having that. So we got a new security person that could help look at that, and the strategy. I really think you need to put it back to a vote so we can sell the stuff instead of my kids hauling it out when I die. With that note, have a good evening.
HVAC is on the horizon, to answer your question, though. Michelle? Whoop. Whoop, there she is.
I didn't see her. I called her. I said, where are you?
Well, this was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Me too.
And I hope you're getting overtime.
Time and a half.
Michelle Walter for Community Awareness. I just want to give you an update on our last program, which was Synergy. And I'm kind of disappointed we lost so many people because this really affects all of us. And Synergy was here, and I have to tell you, they work with the City of Banning Electric Department. Synergy Companies is a City of Banning authorized contractor responsible for administering this program. If your home is eligible, you can receive the following: a whole house fan, smart thermostat, air conditioning tune-up, duct test and seal, upgrade to LED lighting for your ceiling fans and fixtures. They will also install a tankless water heater. I just had all of this done to my house, and there was not one penny that came out of my pocket. Everybody says, no, Michelle, that is not. I said, yes, it is. We are not being charged for one penny. They came in and had it done in 2 hours, and then I had an appointment with the Synergy to come back and put the tankless water heater in. And I have to tell you, they did a fantastic job, and he was there. I think maybe he had a little problem with ours, but of course, but it was done very efficient, and I have to tell you, that whole house fan is something we all need to do. So it is open to everybody. So all you need to do is schedule an appointment with Synergy to receive your energy efficient upgrades to your home. Their number is, and I'm hoping everybody is listening in there, out there, 888-988-9829. I am also in contact with Gary, and he's going to see what he can do for our HOA here and maybe do something for admin. So hopefully that'll come up pretty soon too.
Great.
And I just want to let you know our next program is this coming Tuesday, June 3rd, and it is during Charity Week. It's at 1 o'clock, but I'm sorry we had to have this. I'm having law enforcement agencies coming in. I have the DA's office, CHP, State Parole, Sheriff, and Banning PD. They're going to tell you the differences between all the agencies, what they can do and what they cannot do. And one more little plug, I've got 28 seconds. Community, the Blue Zone Community Kickoff is going to be Saturday, June 7th. I'm involved in the Blue Zone project. It's from 10 to 1. They're going to have food, music, art, and it's at 789 San Gorgonio Avenue in Banning. So I hope everybody can make it out there. I know we've got a lot of stuff going on this week with Charity Week, but I hope people can make it. Thank you. The phone number is 888-988-9829. Just call them and make an appointment. You're welcome.
Thank you, Michelle. Sounds like everybody's tired. Javier, is the bar still open?
But we don't have no hot wings.
Deny.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. Any comments from the board?
Yes, I would like to thank and recognize Randy Robbins and Beverly Simmons for their dedication and service to our community. They both put in a lot of time and effort and did an awesome job serving us on the board and in past action. So I want to thank them again.
Ditto.
I also want to agree with Cal. We need to be patient, more patient with CCNL, the board and everything that's new that we're trying to do. You can't get it done, in one month. So, we're going in the right direction. So hang in there. And next week, support the Charity Week so we can help support the charities in the past action. I was going to make a big pitch for the community awareness, but I guess I don't have to now. But it's all segments of the criminal justice system are going to be there, from the law enforcement to the prosecution, the district attorney, the parole, the probation, everyone will be there and what their role is. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And I'm sure we'll have no crime on that afternoon. Thank you.
Sandra? Any comments? No comments? I'm worn out, I'm done. Have a good night, meeting adjourned.